We back with the OG crew. We're gonna break down this Tuesday NBA slate. We're minus Wham Bam today, but he'll be back on Thursday. And I'll go around the horn really quick. I'll go to you first, there, Dutchy. How you feeling today? How's NBA been treating you?
The NBA is a hell of a drug. And you looking at the plugs. Yeah, man. Good to be back with the fellas. Missing Wham Bam. You know, last I heard from Wham Bam, he was linking up with our boy Skee at Westgate. So, you know, we can maybe blame our boy Skee a little bit. The
I'll
party
take some
guy.
blame.
While Wham Bam ain't in this motherfucking building today. But shout out to our guy. He will be missed. You know, we'll break it down on Thursday night, or Thursday, afternoon. But yeah, man. You know, March Madness, you know, been in that vibe a little bit. March has been, I had a rough March, you know, we're going to stand on it. So, you know, I took it on the chin in March. So I was so happy for it to be April. I had one play yesterday, and it was the Phoenix Suns. You know, took a lot of heat for that too. You know, a lot of motherfuckers, a lot of sharp guys I respect on the Pelicanos, but goddamn it, I went to the window with the Suns confident, and it worked out. So, you know, it was a good start to April. I'm just going to say that, and hopefully we can keep the momentum going. You know, less is more. That's my mentality. Less is more. So, you know, if you hear backwood 1, 2, 3, maybe motherfucking 4 times today, don't be surprised. But one thing for sure is we will get to the bag. I mean, it's always nice to be with you too. Of course, missing Wham Bam, but the chat, we find a way to get to the bag on this show. So I'm eager to see what we got. Nice little NBA card. Not the best of games, but definitely money to be made.
Money to be made for sure. Babano, how you feeling today?
I'm so disappointed, you know, we didn't have a show yesterday, because if we had a show yesterday, my best bet would have been the Atlanta Hawks. Everyone would have been able to hear the Atlanta Hawks sound. So I figured I'd throw one out there now for everyone since we weren't on yesterday. But yeah, Atlanta Hawks, man, plus the points against Chicago, those erratic Bulls. And part of the reasoning for that was I said Chicago beat Minnesota, but they're up and down. Off a win, I don't trust them. Off a loss is where I'd rather back Chicago lately. And look, Atlanta, to their credit, they're playing pretty well. I've actually cashed in a couple of times with Atlanta. Isn't it amazing? Trae Young is out of the fold, and all of a sudden the Atlanta Hawks start winning basketball games. Just saying.
Trae is not the way.
Oh, my God. Hey, you go get me started, man. Get Dutch started too. Man. I'll take him right now in LA. That's where he's gonna be next year. So don't you worry about it, Atlanta. We'll take him right off your hands.
Yeah, he'll be a third best player. You'll be okay. We've talked about this. Don't let him be the superstar.
Because they have two guys that want the ball all the time, Murray and Young. It's just not a good fit for him there. I'm not saying he's a total shit player, obviously. It's just a bad fit, bad vibes going on with him and Murray both in Atlanta at the same time, I think.
Murray nice, though. Murray nice, though.
I don't
San
like
Antonio.
Murray.
I think San Antonio fucked up getting rid of him. Imagine him with Wemby. Woo.
Yeah. That's true. But let's get to today. We got a lot of games. We got 9 games, so let's try to break them down as best as we can. And we got a solid one to start off here. Lakers and Raptors. Lakers are a 12-point favorite. Total has gone up 4 points to 234. And I guess I got to go to Babano on this game first. You're getting some of those guys back in the lineup for the Raptors who bring some pace and scoring with Quickly and RJ returning. And they've been playing solid offensively anyway. They just haven't been able to stop anybody. So are you looking at that total with those guys back?
Yeah, 1,000%. I already bet this. Is one of the first bets I made on this card was over at 232 when I bet it. It's gone up a little bit since then, but I think a perfect over type of game. You look at the LA Lakers, certainly scoring has not been an issue for them. You know, during this 6-1 run in their last 7, we've seen them top 130, you know, on 4 different occasions, 128, I should say, or more on 4 different occasions. So, and you look at the Raptors, the last 2 games they played, Knicks and Sixers at home. They give up, 280 points, you know, in those 2 games combined, average of 140 allowed. That's not what you want to see. Lakers should be able to do what they want. But the Raptors get Manuel Quickly and RJ Barrett, the 2 guys they got in the OG Anunoby trade from the New York Knicks back, and it makes a world of difference offensively for them. There's no doubt. You know, this has been a team struggling to create offense. They don't have a lot of bona fide strong offensive weapons and shooters on the floor, especially with Barrett missing and especially with Quickly missing. At least you're going to get both of them, it looks like, back in this game. You know, the Raptors have been a tough team to bet on, 1-8 against the number in their last 9 games. and on this brutal, atrocious losing streak, which is now at double digits straight up. And I've been fading the Raptors a bit. I don't know if I will tonight. It's a big number. The Lakers on the road. Don't really love the Lakers in this kind of price range away from home, but I'm not on the Raptors either. I think the total's the best way to go. Play it up and over the 230. Up to 234, I still think it's worth a bet.
And I'm in agreement with you on that. Toronto, to put numbers to it, they're the second worst defensive rated team last 5. Lakers first in pace in that span, and Lakers have been going over 10 of their last 15 games. Dutch, I'm going to come to you on this game now, and it's a lot of points for the Lakers to be laying. The Raptors have looked terrible, but you think they'll be a little bit motivated, maybe quickly and RJ with what they had going on. You think the Raptors can keep it within 12?
Well, I don't think too highly of RJ Barrett, so I mean, quickly, all right, but I wouldn't be, capping this game in regards to fucking RJ Barrett's bum ass. But shout out to our guy Sam Comer. I see you, my man. Gold Drew in the building. Yeah, man. I had to comment on that bull ass shit. Winner Circle, I see you, my man. Tasha, good to see the beautiful young lady in the building. Hit that like button. Let's run it up. We here on a motherfucking Tuesday. Get into the bag. But this game, man, I didn't even know this game was on the card, goddammit. I mean, Lakers 12.5-point favorites. Get the fuck out of here, man. Where they do that at? Skee? I mean, I know you fucked around, won 6 out of the last 7. Got your motherfucking little ski pom-poms back on and shit. I know it. Yeah, man. It's all good. The Lakers are playing good basketball, but I know damn well you ain't laying 13 on the road with this fucking basketball team. The number's pretty sharp to me, to be quite honest with you. I mean, both the last 2 meetings, Lakers won by 10, Lakers won by 11. I know our boy Bobano, I believe, said he likes the over. I don't think the Raptors have absolutely anything defensively for the Lakers, so they should pick their number. It's just a matter of, did they show up in the North and did they decide that they want to play for 48 minutes? I'm not going to spend my money to find out, but yeah, it's Lakers or nothing for me.
I think if Quickly and RJ were not coming back today, I could get there with the Lakers as a double-digit favorite. But getting those guys back, I just think might be a little extra motivated today. That's just how I think. So hopefully my Lakers win, but I cannot bet on them to cover the spread. I'll just like the over. All right, let's move over to the next game. This one, maybe not so great. Milwaukee and Washington. Bucks are a 13-point favorite. Total has dropped 3 points to around 226 and a half. Injury report, Giannis, Marjan, Pat Bev, Middleton, all game time and Lillard is out. For Washington, no Kuzma, no Tyus Jones, no Landry Shamet. Looks like Rashawn Holmes and Jared Butler are both game time decision. Dutch, I got to come back to you on this game. I mean, the Wizards without Kuzma, it's no way in hell they ever going to get my money. I'll say that for sure. Can you fade them with the Bucks here tonight?
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Whoop RZA in the building. Good to see you, my man. Don't let the Bucks fuck around, Skee. Don't let the Bucks fuck around and play better basketball without Dame time. Doesn't it just feel like it's coming? It feels like it. They went to Atlanta.
Because they can play better defense.
That's what it is, right? God damn it. They got Patrick Beverly in the starting lineup, fucked around and had 18. You're going to get 18 out of Patrick Beverly. I believe he filled up the stat sheet too. One thing you're going to get from him is the defense. So they're automatically a better defensive team. They can't stop Giannis anyway. So I don't know, man. I got this feeling that, we're going to see a better Milwaukee team without Dame time. It's disgusting to say it. And I know when it matters, they're not going to be a better team. But we're talking about right now. So I have a feeling the Bucks going to run these motherfuckers out the gym. I just think, they're going to be more physical. Just, what you got from the offensive end. Brook can give it to you. He's a step slow on defense. Giannis, when does he really care about defense? But offensively, they're going to pick their number. And we know the Wizards play absolutely no defense. So team total over probably Milwaukee. I wouldn't be surprised if Milwaukee runs these boys straight out the gym.
All right, but he thinks it could get ugly, Babano. Do you agree?
I've seen Milwaukee play with their food enough that I don't want to lay this many with them. The Washington's pretty rough right now, though. You look at their recent results and, Kuzma out of the lineup. Where's the offense going to come from? This is a team that at home only scored 87 points, lost as favorites to Detroit. So, it tells you all you need to know about how their offense is kind of scuffled here. Maybe the under in this game, if anything. But for me, it's a pass as far as the side. I'd honestly lean Washington because look, Milwaukee led Atlanta back into that game. I remember being on the Bucks on Saturday, thinking, it's a nice little bounce back spot for them. And again, in that game, they were up by like 18 at one point. Next thing you know, fourth quarter, that lead got down to 6. So, Milwaukee, to cover these kind of numbers, even against bad teams, you need to be there for 48 minutes and, not have these lapses. And Milwaukee still has them from time to time. So, but Washington is just, it's difficult to back them offensively, in particular with Kuzma sidelines. So pass for me.
Fair. And the Bucks are 4-11 as a double-digit favorite. So I understand not wanting to run to the window and back them
Rebet
in this
Washington
row.
for me, but no, not gonna.
All right, let's move it on over. Next game we have OKC in Philadelphia. Thunder opened as -5, now -2.5, and the total has come all the way down about 5.5 points to 5.5 points to 221. So this is an interesting one, and I look at it, it makes sense. Jalen Williams out, SGA game time decision, Maxi game time. Uh, Still no Embiid, Melton, or Covington. So it makes sense why the line is shifting so big here. I think in this game we kind of personally I want to wait until the injuries to even make a move. But Babano, I'll ask you about the Hamilton kid. Do you think he goes tonight? And how are you approaching this one?
I don't think he's going to play, and the reason I say that is because if you look at the schedule here, they're in Boston tomorrow night against the Celtics. I think they look at that kind of as the bigger opponent, if you will, the tougher opponent, the tougher game. So I think there's a real good chance SGA sits, and no SGA, no OKC for me. As much as I love this team, you know how much he's the heart and soul of this team. He puts the winning shot in to beat the Knicks on Sunday. A great comeback by the Thunder because look, New York was up by a pretty good margin in the third quarter, and Oklahoma City, thanks to SGA, especially comes all the way back and wins that game. Off that win and with Boston on deck, it feels like he should be taking maybe Philly from a spot perspective here. But again, without Embiid, there was some talk Embiid. Wojo was on his social media there talking. He might be back tonight for the Sixers, but no, they're going to be a little cautious and wait at least another game to bring Joel Embiid back. And without him, I still don't fully trust the Sixers. And plus Tyrese Maxey's a game time decision. So for me, this is going to be another pass, unfortunately. But I do think situationally, it's probably advantage Philadelphia here.
All right, Dutchy, is this a game you're interested in getting involved in?
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy, Lucky Power. Good to see you, my dude. Shot-town in the building. Luis, I believe it's Luis. It might be, I think it's Luis Martinez, our guy, able to catch a live show. Appreciate you, my dude. Appreciate you. Run up the like button. Yeah, this game's difficult, man. I honestly, I second everything our boy Bobano just said, man. I don't need to get into it too much. They play Boston tomorrow. Sixers is got to be the side here, but you want to go to the window when Maxi's questionable. Tobias fucked around playing some decent basketball late, so maybe look at Tobias. But yeah, it's Sixers or nothing here, unfortunately.
And it's probably more like nothing for myself. So we'll move right on down the list. Next, we have Knicks and Heat. Heat are a 3-point favorite. Total is the lowest of the day, 206 or 206.5, depending where you shop. For the Knicks, OG and Randall still out. Mitchell Robinson, Washington, and Brown are all game time decision. Heat will be without Tyler Hero, but they have Rozier, Duncan Robinson, probable, along with Caleb Martin and Jovic. This one, I'm coming back to you here, Dutch. I feel like I don't really like laying points with the Heat. Um, and I feel like the Knicks have been playing solid basketball. I think they had just a little bit of a hiccup, but if I had to put my money on it, I think I lean towards the Knicks. Do you agree with me here, Dutch?
I fucking do not agree with you here. And, I don't know if I like that because last couple times we went in the ring together, you done fucking beat the shit out of me, you know. But
Well, I didn't bet this one.
you ain't on the Knicks. You ain't on the Knicks, motherfucker. You know, hey, low key, I thought you were gonna be on the Pelicans yesterday too. I'm happy you weren't because you didn't lose money. But that's when I hit you. I was like, man, this motherfucker probably on the Pelicanos too. But she's like, nah, I stayed off. I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. You done put the gloves to me the last couple times we went head to head. So I'm happy to hear that you didn't go to the window with the Knickerbockers because I do like the Heat here. I think this is a Heat spot here. Not to mention, every time New York has hit South Beach, they've lost 4 straight. You know, Miami has beat them 4 straight at the crib. Now they have lost twice already this year to the Knicks. So I look at it as a nice spot here. Miami, outside of a little trip to DC where they handle business, have been at home chilling for a little over a week now. So I think they're the rested team. They're chilling. The Knicks are a good basketball team, competitive team, and obviously Jalen Brunson can go off at any time. But I do believe they still lack perimeter shooting, and OG being out, and obviously Randall not being there still, I think is going to show against teams of Miami's caliber. And we know what time it is, man. It's Spo, it's Jimmy time. It's time for them to lock in now. I mean, we're getting down to 2 fucking weeks in the NBA season here. I think we start seeing a more bought-in Miami team. It really don't matter who's out there. When they're bought in, that Heat culture is a team that I think we can back here. And I don't think New York's going to beat them 3 times. And I think Miami will continue to do what they've done, and that's beat New York at home. So I think it's a low number, 3. Obviously, I need Jimmy to show up. Rozier needs to fucking, buy in on the defensive end, contain Jalen, make them beat you from the perimeter, which I don't believe the Knicks can, and attack inside the paint. It should be a big game for Bam. So I like the Heat here.
All right, I'll go to you here, Babano, and I'll ask you if you agree with Dutch. And also, this total is pretty low. Do you think it's low for a reason?
I think it's too low.
Mm.
Look at this Knicks team without OG Anunoby. I've said this a million times. You take him out, they're not as good defensively. 7 games now he's missed in a row. Knicks are 6-1 to the over in their last 7 games. The totals have been too low. I cashed a ticket with the Knicks and Thunder over the total. They were betting that under. I couldn't understand it. That game went over the total. Again, 6 of 7 without OG Anunoby, who is as good a defender as there is, certainly on this team, one of the better defenders in the NBA. 6-1 to the over without him. And these totals have consistently been in the low 200s. The last 4, 211.5 with the Knicks game against the Pistons. There were 223 in that game. 211 the total with the Raptors. 246 total points scored. 214 total against San Antonio. 256. 220.5 with Oklahoma City in the last game, and it ended 225 total points. Now we're down to 206.5 all of a sudden. Way too low, in my opinion. I like over 206.5 here. And by the way, Miami, 3 of their last 4 games have gone over the total. They played some pretty bad defensive teams the last 2 games. I will say that. In the last 2 that flew over, Portland and Washington, even without OG Anunoby, the Knicks are a much better defensive team than the Wizards and the Trailblazers. But still, this has been a noticeable dip in the Knicks play without OG. Not to mention Mitchell Robinson's a game-time decision, and the pace quickens, too, whenever Mitchell Robinson's not in there. And Hartenstein's more of a finesse offensive big man. I don't think he's a great defensive big man by any stretch of the imagination for the New York Knicks. So I lean to the Knicks, too, but not enough to bet it. To me, the clear choice is the total. I think it's too low, over 206.5. And the last time these teams met back in January, there were 234 points in the game. So, yeah, I like this over. It's actually one of my favorite bets tonight.
All right, Babano says it is too low, and he'll go the other direction. That will keep me off the under. That would get me far away from the under. So we can move on with this game. Let's go to Rockets and Wolves. This one opened up Wolves minus 8.5. A little bit of, buyback going down to 7.5 now. The total going down as well, about 2.5 points to 214.5. Look at the injury report. Obviously, Rockets still without Şengün. Looks like the Wolves are without Towns and Clark, but everybody else is going to go today. So, Babano, I'll double back to you here. The Wolves, I feel like the Wolves, it's a nice bounce back spot for them. I don't think they really care about playing Toronto tomorrow. But it's tough for me to go against the Rockets and how hot they've been. Can you get there with either side in this game?
Yeah, for me in this one with the Rockets and the Wolves, you look at Minnesota and they're off that loss to Chicago. That is true. 109, 101. So it is a bounce back spot. And you look at what they've done on the home floor. It's been pretty impressive in March. They covered against Denver, albeit a loss, but they were right there with the champs. They win and cover against Cleveland, win by 13 at home. They beat Golden State at home, 114, 110. They don't cover against Detroit, but just narrowly on their home floor. So before that Chicago game, this team was playing pretty well at home.
Really quick, Babano, just giving out information. SGA just got ruled out. Just wanted to let everybody know.
Okay, there you go. Which is not exactly what I expected. Exactly what I expected. Not at all surprised. Keep him for the Boston game tomorrow night. But it's not like Houston's coming into this game, not wanting to win it too, because they got smacked by Dallas, and I think they were thinking they could at least compete in that game with the Mavericks, and it was just not even close. Luka's just raining threes left and right. The display that Luka the Don put on in the first quarter of that game against Houston, he can end a game in the first quarter right when he has that kind of shooting display, and that's exactly what he did against Houston the other night. Houston obviously. They got devoured in that game. Now, you could say the schedule's been light for them. There is some truth to that. And when you look at, but they did beat Oklahoma City on the road. Let's not forget that. They did have a quality road win there. But you're right, the schedule, they played Washington twice. They played Utah a couple of times. Portland's been in the mix. They did beat Cleveland at home. That's a quality win. So the schedule hasn't been great for them. But I'm not just rushing to bet Minnesota here. I'm not. I think Houston can make this a game. I think they're going to bring a better effort, obviously, against Dallas. And I personally think Minnesota, that's a team I may be looking to bet against in the NBA playoffs. I've still got my question marks. I'm thinking Minnesota still might be a team. They peaked in November and December and January. I'm not sure they're an April, May, June type of team for me just yet.
Fair enough. Dutch, how you feeling about this one?
Hey, yo, D in the building. Good to see you, my man. LJ, H-Town liking the under 214.5. Good to see you, my man. Justin, I'm feeling where Justin's at, man. I think there's levels to this shit. And, the Houston Rockets are not on the Timberwolves level. They just absolutely not. Now, I know they fucked around and won some basketball games, but this guy, Toronto G, he's done said some dumb shit in the chat, but he actually said something smart here towards the end. They ain't really played nobody, really. They played the Mavericks, and look what the fuck happened, So at the end of the day, you got Minnesota in a good spot here. Now, I haven't went to the window with this yet because, like I said, less is more for me right now. But I like this game, man. I'm thinking maybe half a unit first half unit full game here. More confident, though, in that first half, I believe. And but it is a little bit, Houston was just an auto bet, 2 to 3 weeks ago on the road. You could just auto bet them motherfuckers. It didn't matter who they played, what the number was on the road. They were fade. Now, obviously, that they have been handling business a little bit, suspect to the competition. But I just think Minnesota, you get them at a good spot. You got a team who's handled business all year, like Barbano said at the house. Losing at home to Chicago. They play these boys twice already, both times 20-point wins, plus 20-point plus wins. So it hasn't been much competition when they've seen the Houston Rockets.
Levels, huh?
Yeah, but now I will say the coach might have something to say about that, because they might. The coach for the Rockets, I do believe, is on another level than the
Ime Udoka. Yeah.
Udoka is definitely leaps and bounds a better coach than what's going over there.
He's still coaching the Boston Celtics if he's not diddling around there. It's that simple. Yeah.
I mean, hey, the man's nice off the court too. God damn it, man. Hey. He got the most out of his talents in the NBA all the way.
He got the most out of his talents on and off the court.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you know him back in San Antonio, motherfuckers that actually watch basketball.
I think the Boston Celtic fans want Missoula instead of Udoka. No way. Come on.
Absolutely not.
Of course. That's the only reason he's not there.
They mad at that shit every day.
Yeah.
All right, let's move over. This game sucks. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll deal with it. Cleveland and Utah. Cleveland was 11 and a half. Now they're 9.5. And the total has gone up from 212.5 to 216. Looking at the injury report, no Mitchell, Jerome, Okoro, Porter, or Dean Wade. For Utah, no Collins, Markkinen, or Clarkson. It makes sense to me why. Actually, no, it doesn't really make sense why the total is going up. Maybe just because it started so low. And I get the Jazz haven't been playing defense, but you are missing a lot of offense. So I'll pass it to you here, Des, because I know I have a feeling this one will be quick and easy. How you feeling about Cavs and Jazz?
Yeah, man. Real easy. Back with this motherfucker. No
And I'm right
sir.
behind you, man. I want nothing to do with this game. I'm not gonna lie. But Bano, is it an over game or how you feeling about this one?
It is for me. Cleveland's been a dead nuts over team lately. I mean, one game after another's just flying over the total for this team. And this is another team where, I get it all season long, when they're playing their best and they're locked in defensively and they've got a consistent lineup and starting five one night to the next, they're in a pretty good defensive team, but they have not had that. And for weeks now, they've played subpar defensive basketball, the Cavaliers, giving up too many points. And you look at them, they're 5 straight overs coming into tonight, 7-3, to the over the last 10 games. Utah's not a team I trust defensively one night to the next. Now, Skee did mention it. You are missing, some offense here, and some points are out of the lineup here for Utah when you're talking Clarkson and Collins and the Finnish Flash, Lowry Markkinen. That's definitely, you're missing a lot here for this Utah team. But I want to take Utah badly. I do, because Cleveland's been a disaster ATS lately, and I don't trust them at all laying double digits. I've tried taking Cleveland even against bad teams of late. Like at Charlotte, they were laying almost doubles. They lost outright in that game. Philly, 6.5-point favorites. They only won by 1, but thankfully I took Philly in that. Like, to me, when they're favorites of this price range right now, especially away from home, I want to take the opponent. And I lean Utah hard. I lean to Utah here, but all the offense out of the lineup does concern me. I think I'll probably sprinkle a bit on Utah. I like the total more. I think it's gone up for a reason. Cleveland's been trending over. Utah don't trust defensively most times, so I think we get over that number. I know it's gone up to 215.5, 216, but I think it's a good over here.
And I can't argue. So we'll go right on down the list. Pretty sure that's one I will not be involved in. Spurs and Nuggets. Another humongous spread. Nuggets are 16-point favorites. Total is 223.5. For the Spurs, no Keldon Johnson or Barlow. For the Nuggets, Jokic. Let me see if they're probable. Yeah, he's always probable when he's on the injury report. I feel like Jokic and Gordon both probable. Murray is truly questionable. They'll be without Najee. So I gotta be honest. This is not a game I'm really interested in at all. For one, the point spread is just too large for me. And two, I'm just not into betting against the Nuggets. I just don't want to do it. I can think of a lot of things I would prefer to do than put it on the other side of the Denver Nuggets. That's just how I feel. So I'll ask you, Babano. You're pretty brave, man. Are you brave enough to take plus 16 with the Spurs?
I do like San Antonio a little bit here. I got to admit, I mean, plus 16, 16.5. They've covered 4 in a row. They've done it against, outside of Utah, they've played pretty tough competition. Phoenix at home, they won outright as 12-point dogs. New York win outright as 8.5-point dogs. And then Golden State, a few days ago, 10.5-point dogs at home, lose by 4. Competitive game. Golden State's been on a roll lately. I like the form I'm seeing from San Antonio here the last few games. And for Denver, you're off the big blowout win against Cleveland. You got the Clippers coming up in a couple of nights, on Thursday. That's not a nugget spot to have 48 minutes of max focus and intensity, in my opinion, when you're coming off a blowout win and you got a big Western showdown with the Clippers coming up next on your schedule. I think it's a nice little spot for San Antonio to, I'm not saying San Antonio is going to threaten to win the game, but just stay inside a big number like this, 16. I think they can do it with the way they're playing right now. Wemby's going to play. I think the better the opponent, he always wants to measure up against a team of this caliber, the Denver Nuggets. They are going to miss Johnson's offense, but you got Wemby in the lineup. And like I said, I like the spirit and the competitive energy we're seeing out of the Spurs right now. 4 straight point spread covers, 3 of them against good competition. So lean to the over, smaller bet there, but I think I'm going to grab the points here with San Antonio here. I mean, it's a big number here for Denver in this spot. Alpha bit blowout win and Clippers on deck. I think it's just a few too many points.
Fair enough. Dutch, how you feeling about this one? You willing to grab 16 against the Denver Nuggets?
Yeah, well, another one of these I didn't even know was on the motherfucking card games. Shout out to Chill Will in the building. Good to see you, my dude. Ricky, Bobby. Good to see you, my man. Liking Bobby Portis, double, Joker, triple-double. Chill Will liking over the 3.5 on the blocks of Wemby. It's going up there, man. Wemby's blocks going up, man. But yeah, I ain't touching this fucking game, man. It's a backwood for me. We got
the way I see it. Yeah, the way I see it about this game is if you're going to lay 16.5 in this spot with a team like Denver, you need Denver to be focused, Denver to be at their best, which I'm not sure of in both cases tonight. And you got to have a bottom feeder on the other side to lay this kind of number. Like a team that's playing absolutely horrendous right now on the other side, if you're going to lay 16.5. I don't see either. And I see San Antonio playing really good basketball here these last 4 games. So I think it's worth the shot here, taking those points.
I mean,
I can't argue.
No way I'd lay the points either, my basket.
Yeah, if you're betting on the Nuggets, maybe just do it first half or something. Spurs are 12-24 in the first half on the road.
Yep.
But they have been playing good basketball lately, so I'm with you on that. We have 2 games left on the slate. We're getting through these nice and easy, getting through them. Clippers and Kings. Oh, Dutch's favorite team. Opened up Clippers -2. Now the Kings are -2.5. Even 3 is popping up. Total, not much movement at 221.5. Let's just check the injury report. Kawhi is out. Malik Monk and Herter, we know, are out for the Kings. I think this one is tough from a side perspective, mostly from me. I'm coming to you here, Dutch. This one is tough from a side perspective, but I just feel like Malik Monk and Herter. I don't know. I just don't trust the Kings already. Now you're starting to miss important players. I feel like I just can't get there. And at the same time, only person I really trust on the Clippers is Kawhi, and they haven't been playing good basketball. So, who you choosing in this one, Dutch? Is it your favorite team or what?
Oh man, Cali in the building. Shout out to our guy Guillermo Zatucci. Good to see you, my man. Shit, this game is difficult. I honestly think the Kings would be the side, but how do you bet the Kings without Malik Monk and Kevin Herter now? I mean, Malik Monk is a big piece of this Sacramento King and is why, not my favorite team by any means, but why I do think they're a team that, gets value. You can find value with them a lot and not crazy, laying crazy numbers and stuff, which I'm a fan of, especially in this goddamn NBA. But yeah, man, I think, no Kawhi, he kind of is very, very questionable to go to the window with the Clippers. Sacramento has been at home chilling too, handle business outside of the 2 losses to Dallas. Beating Orlando at the crib, really probably the only one you could really, say something was respectful about. But I don't know, man. I don't want to go to the window here with Sacramento. I don't trust the Kings or the Clippers, excuse me, though. They haven't been the same team since All-Star break. They have looked like they flipped the page a little bit here, 1, 3, or 4 straight. Light competition as well, but hey, they've handled business. Last game of the road trip here, I believe, for the Clippers before they have Denver on deck. So seems like a kind of a nice spot here for Sacramento, the more I talk about it, to be quite honest with you. But they're light now. They're super light, especially with shooting. They're going to be relying an awful lot on Keegan Murray and Harrison Barnes to knock down those threes. So if they can do that, they could probably handle business and light the beam at the crib. Tough game, though, for me.
I'm gonna ask you here, Babano. Dutch made some good points. 4th straight game on the road for the Clippers. Missing Kawhi already. I mean, maybe they're tired over there. This Kings team missing some offense, and neither team playing with pace lately here, Babano. Do you think this is a game we can sneak under the total?
Yeah, we could, but I don't trust fully the Clippers defense one night to the next. Actually, it's not even Sacramento's, although Sacramento has actually trended under lately. So I'm off the total. I don't have a strong take on the total. I just totally could see it going either way with that. I have not bet the side yet, but even without Kawhi, I'm leaning Clippers here. And I just mentioned how Denver might be looking ahead to the Clippers, and that is the concern. Maybe the Clippers, they've got Denver coming up at home next game, but I ain't laying points with Sacramento against any kind of decent opponent. I saw them just puke all over themselves just days ago against the Dallas Mavericks, who were in a brutal spot, by the way, that night. And Sacramento jumped on them early. They were up big early in that game against the Mavericks. And that was a Dallas team that just destroyed them the game before, 132-96. That was supposed to be a spot for Sacramento, the second straight time they played Dallas at home, to respond. And they did early. They were up by 8 after the first quarter. And then the fourth quarter rolled around, and Dallas erases a huge double-digit 10-point deficit, and they turn it into a 4-point win, 107-103. It was an absolute collapse in the fourth quarter by the Sacramento Kings, and that's 2 times in a row they got punked on their home court by the Dallas Mavericks. And you could argue Clippers, Dallas is playing well right now. So I think Dallas is at the point now where maybe you got to view them as a little bit better form-wise right now than the Clippers, but it's not a huge wide gap. So if I can't trust the Kings against Dallas twice, including a spot where they got destroyed and blown out on their home court, and they pissed it away the second time they played Dallas, why the hell should I trust them laying points tonight against the Clippers? I'm not. I would only look at the Clippers here. In fact, I might get in on the Clippers here for something small.
So Babano making a case for the Clippers. Yeah, I absolutely cannot bet the Kings. It's that simple for me. So I'm with you on that. And I was trying to get there with the under, but maybe I need a little bit more time. Last game on the slate, we have Mavs and Warriors. This one has been right around the opening number. They're now pick 'em, and the total though has come down about 2.5 points. As far as the injury report, I did see Lively was rolled out. Josh Green is out. Thompson and Kaminga, are they probable? They're both probable. And then Sarek is out. So I'm going to save you for last here, Dutch. And I want to ask Babano, the map. Tell me this. The Mavs might have been like the hottest team in the NBA lately, right? And they opened as a short underdog. I just felt like that was a little fishy. I look at it a little bit closer. It's the fifth straight road game for them. They could be tired. Warriors, though, like you would say, Malinsky special, right? Their first game home after a 5-game road trip. So it's tough for me to see what side to go with. Can you make a case for either?
Yeah, it's Dallas for me. I like the way Dallas is playing. They've got Golden State off a long road trip, Malinsky special, first game home, off a lengthy, 5-game road trip. Most of it in the East, too. Minnesota, Miami, Orlando. They went to Minnesota, down to the Southeast, Miami, Orlando, Eastern time zone, Charlotte, back to the Central time zone, San Antonio. Now they're back home off that 5-game road trip. And look, they're playing better basketball, too, but this Dallas team right now, other than a 7-point loss at OKC, they've just been playing great ball. Scoring, defense has picked it up. Thankfully, I've ripped apart Dallas defensively at times this year, but they're playing some good defense right now as well. I don't trust Golden State to keep Luka in check. Good point by someone in the chat right now. Especially you gotta have your legs and you gotta have energy if you're going to defend that guy, Luka the Don, when he can do what he can do. And I don't know if Golden State's going to have that here, coming off a long, lengthy, a lot of air miles, 5-game road trip back home, first game. It's a long-term negative spot. Dallas in the form they're in. I'm not saying this is a slam dunk by any stretch of the imagination, but given the spot, given the price, for me, it's the Dallas Mavericks tonight.
I know he's saying some things you would like to hear over there, Dutch. I'm assuming, but I'll ask one more thing. Does this bother you guys? The Warriors did lose to this team already twice this year, and Warriors have been playing good basketball. Do they get a little double revenge here, Dutchy?
I don't believe so, man. Luka the motherfucking Don's been on his shit all year, but now they finally got the team since the trade deadline. I mean, this motherfucking team has won 11 out of 12 games, 7 straight, and Bobano touched on it. They bought in on a defensive end. I mean, they haven't gave in this 7 straight games. They haven't given up more than 107 points in any of those games. Playing good ball. I mean, they got some guys coming up the bench getting it. I know no Lively, no Green here tonight, but I don't really think it's going to matter, man. Really, what matters is you got Batman and Robin, really, bro. You got Luka the motherfucking Don and Kyrie, Uncle motherfucking Drew. They're the best thing going right now in the NBA. I mean, if you watch them, they're playing great. We'll see if this is going to transition into playoff basketball because I haven't been too high on the two. But when we talk about it, man, it don't get much better than Luka the motherfucking Don. And then from an offensive perspective, like Kyrie Irving, when he's bought in, it's real nice. It's real nice. Let me tell you something who don't want to see that. That's Clay motherfucking Thompson's ass and the chef and Curry. They don't want to see these boys. They don't want to see these boys cooking. And you don't want to the chef don't want to see these motherfuckers in the kitchen, god damn it. Because Luka is gonna bust that ass. Believe it. I like everything our boy Babano was saying. They beat them twice this year, both by double digits. I really honestly think there's just levels to this shit. And these Warriors aren't on motherfucking Luka Don's level, god damn it. And Kuminga's questionable. I know he'll play, but he might be a little nicked up. Chris Paul went for 24 against these boys last time. 24 motherfucking points Chris Paul scored, and they still lose the game by double digits. I don't think he's gonna do that again. I don't think he's done that all goddamn year. But what it comes down to is Kyrie, Luka, they're playing, they're bought in right now. The team's playing team defense. Little bit of knockdown shots from PJ Washington, Tim Hardaway Jr. God damn it, just don't shoot the ball too much. And if you do, hit one or two, please. Luka, the Don, and Kyrie get it done in the Bay. They handle business in the Bay. Believe it, man. I like it. -110 is a pick right now. I believe you can find out there. Mavericks. It's good money.
You guys both sound pretty confident about this game. So I will stay out the way because I was trying to get there on the Warriors.
The line is fishy. That's the one thing I definitely will back Skee up with. The line's a little suspect, but
the line was
red hot
last night in New Orleans.
Yep.
Right? That shit was some bull ass shit. What was going on in New Orleans with that line? Yep. Phoenix 1.5, then all of a sudden it's 1.5 Pelicanos. Right. And come on, man. But you're right. And the one thing I will say is the Warriors do need to win some basketball games. I mean, they're in the but it's pretty much playing for these boys now, right? I mean, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, the Mavericks,
the Rockets on their ass.
You got Dallas red hot like they are, playing the best defense they've played all year. Luka can't be stopped right now. And on the other side, you got Malinsky special. So that's why.
Exactly.
Dallas
and the Mavericks and you could say about the Mavericks being, on the road too, but they had a back-to-back stay in Sac. So they didn't have to travel. They did have to travel to Houston, but outside of that, they was chilling in Cali already.
Yeah.
My bad. But I'm feeling like a Razor, man. It looked so easy to take the Mavericks.
Well, like Dutch said with the Pelicans last night, that looked like that was a Pelicans line last night, and sure enough, the Suns win. And the Suns won comfortably.
It's the Lucas shirt right here. Thou shalt not try me. You know what I mean? This is it. I'm not.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there. Hopefully you guys cash the Mavs because I'm not going to put a ticket in on the Warriors. All right. We made it through today's card. I feel like we did it in pretty solid time. Now we can move on over to the best bet segment. And no Wham Bam today. He usually does go first. So we'll pass it on over to Babano. Let the people know what you think is the best way to get paid today.
I think it's like I said, I'm going to go to that total with the Knicks and the Heat. I think it's just too low. 6-1 to the over without OG Anunoby for the Knicks. These totals have been going over these low numbers in the 200, 210 range for quite some time now. Miami's offense has picked up a little bit. As long as Brunson's on the court, New York is, a very capable offensive team. We've seen that. So, yeah, for me, Knicks and Heat, take advantage of a very low number here, over 206, best bet.
All right, nice. And the market not really moving on that one. So I'll be rooting for you there, Babano. I'll go next. My best bet will be in the game that we just talked about. I will take a look at the total. And this game is important for both of these teams as far as the standings go in this late playoff push. Both teams have been playing great defense, top 5 defensive rated teams last 5 games. Both teams have been trending towards unders. So I think in a game like this, it's played more like the playoffs, and that means lower scoring for me. So You look at one last thing. You look at Dallas. I believe the last 7 games. I don't think they've gotten close to this number. And Golden State can same thing can be said the last 5. They're just not playing, in a way right now that will produce a lot of points. So best bet for me, Dallas Golden State under 232. And last but not least, we'll pass it on over to Dutch. Let the people know what the freshest look of the day is and take us home.
Yeah, man. The freshest look, we're going to the Bay. Hey, and the true star will shine, and he plays for the Dallas Mavericks. But look at the motherfucking Don and the crew handle business. -110. It's good money. Believe it. Good to see all the real ones in the chat. Cheshire Cat, I see you. Matty Ice, good to see you, my man. Tank play of the motherfucking day. And appreciate the kind words, my man. Boofer T, Glenn, Chill Will, Raven, Ron, all the real ones. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the motherfucking video. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah, man.